Hello students, welcome you all in the world of homeopathic pharmacy. My name is Dr. Bhakti Kiste and my today's topic is drug proving. Drug proving make a base for the homeopathic pharmacy. At the beginning of this lecture, I am going to show you one picture and one short story which is relating this picture with the history of homeopathic pharmacy. So let's go. Homeopathic drug proving. Now, who is he? He is not Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, he is not Dr. Kent, not Dr. Boger, not Boning Hussein. Then who is he? His name is Albrecht von Haller, a well known physician, botanist, poet, and also novelist. He was the first known person beside the Hahnemann who felt the need of testing medicines for their pure and peculiar effect in deranging the health of the man in order to learn what morbid state each medicine is capable of curing. What is the action of any medicine? What will be the reaction of any medicine? He want to study everything about that medicine before prescribing. So he is Albrecht von Haller. Okay. Hahnemann was the competent in different languages. He knows around the 14 languages. And he is used to translate many works of considerable significance. He can translate so many books from one language to another language. He can translate the articles from one language to another language. So while translating a treatise on Materia Medica, second volume by William Cullen, who was a professor of medicine at London University, from English to German. Okay, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann was translating this book from English to German language. Hahnemann came across the statement made by Cullen in the book regarding the action of cinchona bark. After that, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann read all the information about the cinchona bark. Then he start testing it on himself. He start experimenting on his family members, and then right from here the journey of homeopathic pharmacy start. Then after a few years the homeopathy settled down as a one of the most harmless way to treat the patient. Drug proving is a process of acquiring knowledge of instrument intended for the cure of the natural disease. It is written in aphorism number 105. It is the systematic and orderly way of investigating the pathogenic power of a medicine on a healthy person. The prerequisition we can also call this as essentials of drug proving. The first one is drug. Drug must be pure, free from mixture of any other drug. Must be possess all its active properties. Then second one is prover. Must be in a normal and the healthy state. And third one is environment. The surrounding must be normal. The environment of the prover, the surrounding of prover must be normal. Now next one is the objects of the drug proving. So objects of the drug proving: to know the pathogenic effect. To know the pathogenic effect, that is the disease producing effect upon the healthy human being. The second one, to observe and record the alteration of the normal sensation by the production of a subjective symptoms. To observe and record the alterations of the normal sensations by producing the subjective symptoms. Third one, to observe and note the deviation in the appearance of the surface, changes in the tissues, organs, changes in the physiological functions, etc. etc. Fourth one, to produce the characteristics of the drug as they manifest in the disease state. It is the most important. Next one is selection of the prover. See, selection of the prover is mainly based on four things: animal proving, human proving, qualities of human prover, and choice of the prover. Okay, these are the main things which we are going to observe while we are selecting the prover. So first one is the animal proving. See, in animal proving there are disadvantages and some advantage, okay, while you are proving on the animal. So first we are going to study about the disadvantages. The first one is the subjective and mental symptoms cannot be studied as they cannot express themselves by a speaking. Animal cannot speak with us, so they cannot tell us about the subjective symptoms and the objective symptoms. Second thing is modalities and finer sensation are lacking to make a symptom complete. See, to complete any symptom, we require subjective symptoms, objective symptoms, the modalities, the concomitant, but the animals cannot tell us the minor changes or any kind of the concomitant symptoms, or they cannot tell us about the aggravation, amelioration, or modalities. They cannot narrate us their modalities also. Third one, the effect of the same drug on the animal and on the human prover are different. A single medicine, one medicine, gives the different action on the animals and shows the different action on the human prover. The next one is the proper individualization of the knowledge of the drug is never possible on animal proving. See, one thing, as animal cannot narrate us the symptoms, so it is not possible to prove any medicine on the animal. We cannot get the all symptom summary from the animal prover. The questions of susceptibility and idiosyncrasy is difficult to judge from the animal proving. See, susceptibility, whether the susceptibility is high, whether the susceptibility is low. Idiosyncrasy means when the patient is very much sensitive, so we can call it as a idiosyncratic. But in case of the animal prover, we cannot get we don't know about their susceptibility, we don't know about their idiosyncrasy. So animal prover, these are some disadvantages while we are selecting the animal for the proving. Now some advantages. The drug may be proved in any quantity but not possible in human proving due to the toxicological effect of the drug. We can prove any drug, we can try any drug on a large quantity while we are selecting the animal prover, but while we are selecting the human prover, we cannot test in a higher quantity. The drug may be proved for any length of time but not possible in the human proving. This is also nice point. Third one is we may go to the ultimate pathology and dare to lose a prover. Then fourth one, proving with unknown substance may give a first hand information with regard to its action on the living organism. And last one, to assay the physiological action of the drug. We can definitely get the physiological action of that drug on the animal. Okay. Now next one is here the first one is disadvantages and advantages. Disadvantages, you just remember, as animal cannot narrate us the subjective and objective symptoms, they cannot narrate us the modalities, the concomitant symptoms, finer sensation, about their susceptibility, about their sensitivity. All these are the disadvantages. And advantages, we can prove on animal in a large quantity. Then we can prove on animal for any length of the time. We can prove on animal for the pathological, means we can dare to go to the ultimate pathology, dare to lose the prover, and to assay the physiological action of the drug. These are some advantages also. Next one is the human proving. Okay, so while human proving, there are also 3-4 subheadings. First one is proving on a sick person should not be done. It is given in aphorism number 1, not 7. The proving on healthy human being, it is given in aphorism number 1, not 8. Then qualities of the human prover and choice of prover. So many time in the examination, the quality of human prover or the choice of prover, why we select the human proving, all these may ask for the short note also. Okay, so first one is the proving on the sick person should not be done. Why? The true effect of medicine can seldom be distinctly observed as the symptom of the natural diseases, and the peculiar alterations of medicines are mixed up. The person is already deceased, he developed some natural disease by his own, and you are prescribing the medicine also, so we cannot judge what is the disease symptom and what is the medicinal symptom. In the disease state, the person may be hypersensitive or hyposensitive, and so the intensity of the symptom may be increased or decreased accordingly, and we cannot judge about the susceptibility, about the sensitivity of that patient. Next, if accidentally the symptom of the medicine are similar to his disease, he will be cured or partially relieved. Neither the symptom of the disease nor of the drug shall be visible externally. If you are giving any medicine and it accidentally suits to that patient, then the patient may get cure or may get relief temporarily. Okay. Next one, if the drug used is of opposite nature to his disease, it shall bring a temporary relief. It will give a temporary relief if you are giving the medicine and which is opposite to the deceased person or his disease. If the drug is dissimilar to the disease, either there will be no effect or will form a complex disease. If you are prescribing a medicine and the person is already sick, and if the diseases are dissimilar, then it will definitely going to form, means the patient show either no effect or they will form a complex disease, and it is very hard to treat the complex disease. Next one is proving on healthy human being. It is given in aphorism number 108. The best possible way to ascertaining the pure and peculiar effect of medicine is to make a proving by administering a several medicine experimentally on healthy human being and in the moderate doses. Okay, for proving any medicine, you have to choose the healthy human being and prescribe a moderate dose. The advantages, except the negligible amount of the disadvantages, the human proving serves all of our purpose. The human proving fulfill your all of the purpose, means you got the subjective symptoms, you got the objective symptoms from the human proving, you got the modalities from the human proving, the concomitant symptoms, you got any minor changes which the patient is feeling, you can record that also. So the healthy human being as a prover is the best way for the proving. So the first thing, the subjective and mental with their modalities and concomitant may only be recorded in the human proving. From such proving, we get a pure accumulate pathogenetic effect of the medicine, which help to cure the natural disease on the basis of the symptom similarity. If you got the location, sensation, concomitant modalities of a peculiar disease, then you got the symptom similarity, then you can prescribe the exact simillimum to cure the patient. The next one is peculiar characteristics of the drug, the rare unusual symptom that distinguish it from all other is only possible during the human proving, especially from this susceptible one. If any medicine is having some different kind of the action, then it will possible to record only when the prover is human being, and especially if it is the healthy human being. The next one is the quality of human prover. See, in the quality of human prover, there are also some subheadings: ideal prover, best prover, idiosyncratic. So, these the properties of characteristics of ideal prover, best prover, idiosyncratic may ask for the 2 marks in your examination. Okay, so who is the ideal prover? Who is healthy, intelligent, delicate, irritable, sensitive, love of truth. All these are the qualities of the ideal prover. I am repeating once: healthy, intelligent, delicate, irritable, sensitive, lover of truth. These are the properties or qualities of the ideal prover. Who is the best prover? The healthy, unprejudiced, and sensitive physician himself is the best prover. Who is healthy, who is unprejudiced, and who is sensitive physician himself. Okay, he is the best prover. Then idiosyncratic prover. The idiosyncratic person is the best possible prover of the substance to which he is idiosyncratic. Okay, he can prove any medicine. Okay, so idiosyncratic prover, best prover, and ideal prover. Next one is the choice of prover. In the choice of prover also there are some subheading like both male and female in case of the different ages and many individuals. Okay, so while you are selecting the prover, you have to prove that medicine on the male, on the female, on the different age group, in the different age group, on so many individual. Okay, and then you got the exact data related to that drug. Okay, its action on male, its action on female, its action on different age group, its action on so many individual, all types of constituent, all types of the temperament. Okay, so the choice of prover, first one is both male and female. In order to reveal the alteration of the health they produce in the sexual sphere, male and female are different in anatomical, physiological, psychological sphere. So, to treat the disease of both sexes, we must know the pathogenetic power of medicine in the sexual sphere. There are certain diseases which are specific for male and some for female. So, for the treatment of specific diseases, we must know the effect of drugs through drug proving on both sexes. Now about the different ages. The physical appearance, anatomical development and functions vary according to the age. We have to treat the person of different age group, so we must know about the curative power of medicine in different age group. There are diseases which are more common in certain ages. For example, measles, whooping cough, rheumatic fever are common in the children. Whether an enlarged prostate, cataract are common in aged individual. The susceptibility and physical irritability varies with age. Now last one is many individuals. The drug proving the many individual also it is given in aphorism number 136. Drug proving must be done on many individual. All the symptoms peculiar to the medicine do not appear in one person, nor all at once, nor in the same experiment, but some occur in one person chiefly at one time, the other aging during the second and third trials. So, in order to get the whole pathogenetic power of medicine, the proving should be done on many different individuals, varying in their corporeal and mental constitution. See, the individual, while you are prescribing a medicine to a certain individual, she shows the symptoms of that drug in specific time, in the afternoon, in the morning, in the evening, if the prover is female, so before menstruation, after the menstruation, before coition, after coition. So there are so many phases, the in the daytime or in the life or in the hormonal changes are going on in the males and female. So to got the all symptoms of a specific drug, you have to prove that medicine on so many individuals, all types of the constitutions, all types of the temperaments. You prove that remedy, then only you got its symptom. Okay, it is very very easy. See, this is one the picture of the drug proving, the similia similibus curanter. While you are drug proving, you know about the individualization, the drug dynamization, then you prescribe the minimum dose, you know about the chronic diseases, everything. The base is drug proving, and everything, all these facts are the main support of the homeopathic pharmacy. Okay, so this is all about the drug proving. I am just giving you one few topics. I am just explaining a few topics in this lecture. The remaining topic I will be continued in the second part of the drug proving. I hope you like this video. Thank you very much.